Hi everyone, it's Doug from Bjorn Territory, and in this episode I'm going to show you how I painted my Gardus Steel Soul for my Age of Sigmar army. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you pick up a few tips and tricks. Hope you can apply it to your own work. And if you do like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. Catch you in a bit. Alright, first coat of colour for Gardus Steel Soul was a grey sear base coat. First colour I'm going to put on is Administratum Grey Citadel paint, and I'm going to use it for the rocks, etc. I tend to do the miniature and then struggle to paint the base afterwards. I thought this one I might do it a little bit different and do the base, at least with a base coat first, and then come on. For my own colour scheme, I'm going to come in with Contrast Black Templar. I'm just going to focus on all the flat areas of armour. And I do a thin coat to begin with the contrast paint. So I used to base my minis in black, but I found I always lost all the details, and then I'll be like missing bits when I painted it, or something would happen. And I found like with grey, it was a happy medium point. Like I was able to see what I needed to paint. It was dark enough to create shadows, and it works for most things I paint, most of the minis I look at. Next colour I'm going to come in is with the Mephiston Red. With Mephiston Red, two areas I'm going to focus on. It's the sash between his legs. The next area, not quite sure how to tackle this one, but the tails. Next colour is Lead Belcher. Belcher's going to basically pick up all the details that I would like for the character. So the mask, shoulder pad. Again, a couple of coats. Keep it smooth. So do the spikes of the halo around his helmet, his crest on his badge. Bit of silver, and then also silver for the hammers on the end of the tails. Next colour is your Shanty Bone. I'm going to use this carefully for, I don't even know what they are, like prayer flags. Now I'm going to cover the whole thing in Nuln Oil and a little bit of Agrax Earthshade for the base as well. Focusing on the silver parts. And then going to come in with the Agrax Earthshade. Just again with the Agrax Earthshade. Just making sure it doesn't pull anywhere I don't want it to pull. Instead of Nuln Oil, I've decided to use Agrax Earthshade for tones in the ground. I was just thinking rocks aren't generally just black, white and grey. It's going to be a bit of dust and grey and mud. So it could be dust and mud, etc. flying up. And then on armour, with the Lead Belcher, I'm just going to do it on the raised areas. So you've got the contrasting tones for the lower. So I'm going to focus on the nose, forehead, just under the eyes and the lip. Focus on the edges. Take the side of your brush, drag them on lightly. On the hammers, just the top edges are a bit brighter. Come back in with the Mephiston Red. Flat areas, keeping the shadows in between the folds of materials. So with these, I do more of the edges, and at the bottom is darker. Tidy up, move on, tidy up, move on. First highlight for red, Evil Sun Scarlet. So coming in for the tails, just the edge, use the side of your brush, pick out the edge of the material on both sides if you can. Final highlight for red is Wild Rider Red. The Wild Rider Red, don't use as much as before on the tips and edges. For the cloak I do the same, just edge. I'm going to come back in with the Shanty Bone or the edges. An old paint, but chainmail, really bright silver to highlight my silver. And I'll do edge highlight armour. Tips of the halo. I'm now going to come back in on the base with administrating grey. Just focus on some of the edges. Keep some of the tones in. The outer areas. For the etheric glow around the smash point from the sword and on the hammer, I'm going to use the Nighthaunt Gloom. Focus on the hammer first. I'm just going to dab it on areas around the middle, but keeping some of the silver coming through, like so. On the sides and the bottom. For the sword, I'm going to focus from the middle, lightly dabbing it middle, but keeping the edge of the silver. On the base, from where the hand hits, use the Nighthaunt Gloom. Some of the cracks, crevices. Come in now with some grey cere. And the grey cere, I'm going to use to edge highlight some of the cloths. And whilst the Nighthaunt's gloom's a bit wet, just on the edges, just going to mix it, wet mix, with a bit of the grey cere. So on the hammer as well, in the middle, and using the very lightly tips of my brush. Last bit, a white scar, just in the centre of the hammer, just to make it glow, and on the sword. I come in with a smaller brush, and with the Black Templar contrast paint, I'm going to focus on the runes on the sword, making them stand out a bit more. Right, with my little dry brush, I've got a bit of administrating grey, and I am just going to come in on some of the black details. On the dry brush, it nicely picks up some of the details again. Same with black. Black is obviously, it's not a colour, is it? It's a combination of colours and tones. So you kind of got to add it back in with some greys and other colours, lights, to pick it back out. For the base, add a bit of astrogranite. I'm just going to place it in the gaps. Alright, I'm going to leave him there. I tend to aim for 3 foot fabulous and get him on the tabletop, and I'm pretty chuffed with him. I think it looks cool. It's got the bits I was aiming for, a bit of lightning crackling in his weapons, some tricky bits to paint, but overall quite a nice project and a really fun model to build, and I love the pose. I love this, it's awesome. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you picked up some tips. Hopefully it encouraged you to get painting with your own models. And if you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. I'll catch you soon. Take care.